Welcome, everybody, to Lemon Live at 5. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad that you're here. Excited that you're here. Oh, my gosh. What a week. Working. Hey, producers, can we just show our legends? Our legends are going to join us a little bit later on if you have. I always love having the legends later on the show. Hi, legends. How are you? Lemon legends. Are they waving? Are they frozen? Oh, my gosh. Yeah, there they go. Lemon legends are helping us to grow and build this community, and we're going to talk about that later. We have an update for you on the tragic situation in Mississippi and that kid that was found. I call him a kid because he's a young man who was found hanging, and so we'll try to get to the bottom of that. Ben Crump is going to join us. He is now representing the family. So we'll see it a little bit later, legends. In the meantime, let's talk about what's happening in the news. Welcome, everybody. Hit the thumbs up, hit the likes. Remember, that affects the algorithm. More people become aware of our content, and we would like everyone to follow us. Thank you for following us on all of the social sites, all of the streaming sites, including YouTube, which is our main show, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And then later we'll be on all the streaming things, which will be Spotify, iHeart Radio, and Apple Podcasts. So thank you all. So please like, thumbs up, become a member, also subscribe. Don't forget, subscriptions are free. Memberships are very reasonable. Let's talk about what's happening in our country right now. And starting off in Washington, members of the Congressional Black Caucus condemned a bipartisan resolution that was passed today to memorialize Charlie Kirk, saying that the measure validated Kirk's beliefs and legitimized, quote, racist, harmful, and fundamentally un-American ideals. In a statement following the House's approval of the resolution, which received support from more than 90 Democrats, it was bipartisan, the caucus denounced political violence and the killing of Kirk, but said individuals must condemn violence, quote, without abandoning our right to speak out against ideas that are inconsistent with our values as Americans. It is very hurtful to a lot of people. It's hurtful that he died, and it is tragic, and obviously, but it's also hurtful because there are many people who believe that Charlie Kirk, or his language, indicated that he didn't think gay people should exist in the sense they shouldn't have the right to be married, and he spoke out against that. So same-sex marriage, women, black women, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which I'll tell you about. So this is what the caucus outlined of Kirk's past comments that they said that they strongly disagreed with, listing his belief that the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which ended racial segregation in this country, saying that it was a mistake, his denial that systemic racism exists, his promotion of the Great Replacement theory, and his offensive claims about Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, Michelle Obama, and Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee and Joy Reid, I believe, that they were lacking adequate cognitive ability or brain processing power, as he put it. 42 members of the CBC voted against the resolution, making up to 72% of the 58 Democrats who opposed the measure. 5 members of the caucus voted yes on the resolution, including House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Another 4 members of the caucus voted present, and 4 members didn't vote at all. Congresswoman AOC had a lot to say about it. This is a little bit of a longer clip, but she took to the floor to voice her opinion on this. And by doing so, she spoke for many Americans, especially Americans who are part of underserved communities in this country. Here's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Today, the Republican House majority brought to the floor a resolution honoring, quote, honoring the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's assassination was a horrific and vile attack and incident of political violence. And condemning the depravity of Kirk's brutal murder is a straightforward matter, one that is especially important to help stabilize an increasingly unsafe and volatile political environment where everyday people feel more at risk. We can deeply disagree and come together as a country to denounce the horror of this killing. And it is not a license for the abuse of power and whitewashing of American history. Today's resolution only underscores the majority's recklessness by choosing to author this condemnation and honoring on a purely partisan basis, instead of uniting Congress in this tragedy with one of the many bipartisan options to condemn political violence and Kirk's murder, as we did with the late Melissa Hortman. Instead, the majority proceeded with a resolution that brings great pain to the millions of Americans who endured segregation, Jim Crow, and the legacy of bigotry today. We should be clear about who Charlie Kirk was. A man who believed that the Civil Rights Act that granted Black Americans the right to vote was a mistake. Who, after the violent attack on Paul Pelosi, claimed that, quote, some amazing patriot, unquote, should bail out his brutal assailant, and accused Jews of controlling, quote, not just the colleges, it's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it, unquote. His rhetoric and beliefs were ignorant, uneducated, and sought to disenfranchise millions of Americans, far from the working, quote, working tirelessly to promote unity, unquote, asserted by the majority in this resolution. It is equally important that Congress does unite to reject the government's attempt to weaponize this moment into an all-out assault on free speech across the country, all in the name of Charlie Kirk. President Trump and the FCC are now cynically threatening to shut down ABC and any outlets who give airtime to the administration's political critics. This is a disgusting attack on the American people and the very First Amendment rights that define us as a country. It is also the ABC Corporation's responsibility to refuse to embolden and participate in this corruption and escalation of censorship. We continue to pray for Mr. Kirk's family and loved ones in the wake of this terrible act. I am thinking especially of his children and his wife, whose grief cannot be measured. And with that, I yield back to the gentleman.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on the House floor. Politico also put up the CBC's response that we showed earlier. And there is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez just moments ago. Congressional Black Caucus's resolution honoring Charlie Kirk, not about healing. Most CBC members voted against the resolution, a Politico analysis found, and they did. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. Now, what is interesting about this is that it has sparked this whole thing about free speech, which I will get to, and cancel culture. And really, this should be about decency and respect. Decency and respect, which is what it should be about, but it is not about that now. It is about owning the libs, getting our way, squashing criticism, dissent, the little people. What's surprising is that we have heard from members of the clergy. Maybe it shouldn't be surprised, because even during the civil rights movement, we had, there were clergy leading the charge. There were clergy speaking out against civil rights for people. But now, when in this moment, in this time, coming from a religion that is supposed to not glorify deities, and you know that whole thing, our God is a jealous God. Thou shalt not put any God before me. That's the very first commandment that I'm paraphrasing about. It appears to some that some Republicans, I need to clarify, because people, that some Republicans, MAGA, many of them, and our politicians, they're trying to deify Charlie Kirk. which is just to some of us, it's mind-boggling, because if you look at his words, I don't care who they were coming from, what ethnicity a person it came from, it was offensive to a lot of people. This is Cardinal Dolan in New York. Now, I want you to sit back and listen to this, because some people, many people, Catholics, folks, are kind of stunned by this. Here it is.
I thought, I got to learn about this guy. And the more I learned about him, I thought, this guy's a modern-day St. Paul. He was a missionary. He's an evangelist. He's a hero. He's one, I think, that knew what Jesus meant when he said, the truth will set you free. And to do it, now, I understand he was pretty blunt and he was pretty direct. He didn't try to avoid any controversy. He didn't even try to avoid confrontation. The difference is the way, the mode, the style that he did it, always with respect. And not only was that a gracious, kind of virtuous thing to do, it's effective. Because when your opponents see, this guy kind of respects me, we kind of disagree here, but he kind of enjoys me, and he's thanking me for being here, and he's telling me he appreciates the trust I have in him in sharing my views. I thought, this guy can teach us.
I wonder how Cardinal Dolan would feel if they said Irish people should not have civil rights, or that members of the clergy should not have civil rights, or anything of the such. I wonder how he would feel about that. Or if people who became priests somehow didn't have brain processing power, I wonder how he would feel about that. I wonder if he would be saying the same thing. And that, I kind of agree with it. Well, sometimes people get, there are things that anger people, let's put it that way. And that doesn't mean that I'm not condoning any violence. It's horrible what happened to Charlie Kirk. But I mean, even if I'm only saying this because it's a Dolan and a religious reference. Jesus turned over the tables in the temple to stop the commercialization of the sacred space, which he described as a house of prayer, being turned into a den of thieves or robbers. So things that even Jesus found to be wrong, he took action and didn't just accept it, meaning, I don't agree with you at all. You must stop this. You must not do this. You must not do that. Again, no condoning of violence here. I'm just saying that people don't have to accept everything. People have different opinions. And be careful who you deify or sanctify. Awful for him, for his family, his loved ones, and even for the people who didn't know him and looked up to them. I'm sure they're obviously grieving. But it is fair for people to be able to comment on and criticize Charlie Kirk for his words and what he stood for by using his own words, and to analyze. That is as American as apple pie, but it doesn't seem to be happening right now, especially as it relates to the freedom of speech. We are in trouble as it relates to freedom of speech. There was Andy, if you can get me the Republican congressman today that I spoke to on the steps of the Capitol. Gosh, what was his name again? You guys, Peter, tell me real quick.
Is that Chip Roy?
Chip Roy. Yeah. That I spoke to. Let me know when you have it. As I tried to ask him about freedom of speech, and he, somehow for them it's about business, and freedom of speech is about business. Freedom of speech is about ratings. Freedom of speech is about people who, the owners of the station saying that they don't like things, which it should be problematic, especially for Republicans who like small government and believes that people should have the freedom to be able to watch and do things, whatever they want. It's part of like having the freedom of expression, right? I believe that those station owners have a responsibility for not just the people who didn't agree with what Charlie Kirk said, but for also the people who liked Jimmy Kimmel and who agreed with Jimmy Kimmel, or who found Jimmy Kimmel to be exactly what he is, a late night comedian. Here's Chip Roy on the steps of the Capitol today.
If Republicans want to fight in November, then go down that road. Come talk to us if you want to insert healthcare freedom. Come talk to us if you want to say that we're going to make permanent short-term limited duration plans and some of the good freedom alternatives, maybe minimum payments so people aren't engaging in fraud. Maybe we could have some expansion of health savings accounts or more direct primary care options. But what we shouldn't do is extend the very program that is bankrupting the American people and making it impossible for them to afford health care. Republicans would be insane to do that. Ted Cruz was right in 2013. He would be right today. And if Democrats want to say that we need more of the very program that's killing our healthcare system, let them run on that.
People like, where do you stand on this whole issue about freedom of speech, the debate we're having right now? Some folks are saying that the government, the FCC, encroaching on our freedom of speech by disciplining people like Jimmy Kimmel, et cetera.
Right, but what you got here is Sinclair, and you got local broadcasters saying we don't want this nonsense being put out, and our people are mad about it. This was a advertiser decision. This was a local broadcaster decision, and the FCC they didn't tell those local broadcasters what to do. Right? Disney was looking at this as a business decision, and they made a decision to do that.
Well, the FCC said, Brendan Carr said himself, we could do this the easy way or the hard way.
Right, but what he means by easy way or the hard way, and I mean, he's talked about this and he's addressed this, is whether or not the people who are putting out that content that are going to be contrary to the wishes of the people, right, that is what you saw unfold where the local broadcaster said, enough, we're not going to do this. Disney made a call, it was a business decision, and look, I think what the commissioner was saying, and it's true, licenses are there for a reason, right, and we have questions about at times, like, you can't have pornography, you can't have certain things like on broadcast, like you can put out whatever you want.
This is comedy.
But you want to put whatever you want out on a soapbox, you can put whatever you want out on cable, but on broadcast licenses, we have to deal with the FCC and figure out what they're doing on broadcast. That's all Brendan was saying, but it was Disney making a business decision.
Can you pause?
Based on.
Well, now right there, I believe that he's admitting that that is a strong arm because the FCC, why is the FCC in this? Well, we know it's because of a merger and all of that, but why is the FCC even in this? Why isn't the FCC's response? Thank you very much, Tiffany Mohammed. That's what I was thinking as I was standing there, talking fast and saying nothing about nothing. One thing, too, you'll see a little bit later on. I don't think not everybody, in the Washington reporters, in the DC bureaus or whatever, I don't think these reporters understand that because they want to get their questions in. This guy is not going anywhere. He's not going to run away. And they don't let people finish following up because maybe some of them are threatened or they're not used to people pushing back. And so, this was happening during my live show earlier. So as I was running an interview from Melissa Slotkin, I was also gathering information and getting sound bites from Congress folks, from lawmakers. And so I didn't get to finish my questions because I had to go back. It was the end of the interview and I had to go back to continue my live shot. But it seems to me he's saying, well, these business owners can do this, they can do that. Of course they can do any of this stuff. But it sounds to me like he's saying freedom of speech depends on business. The FCC should say, why don't you let the people decide in your community via the ratings what they like and what they don't? And for the people who don't want to watch it and don't like it, turn the TV off. Do you understand what I'm saying? This shouldn't be a decision of yours. It should not be a decision of yours. I'll let him finish and then I'll get to some other stuff. Here it is.
On Sinclair and based on broadcasters saying, we're not going to put that garbage on the air. He said, well, it's comedy. Fine. But there's a cost to that. And if you're going to put out stuff that people see as completely irrational and wrong, and Jimmy was just like over the line there. Right, Johnny Carson.
He was over the line in criticizing or commenting on how the president responded to Charlie Kirk.
He was over the line in trying to portray something which was factually inaccurate, and the people saw it.
Why was inaccurate?
It's full of crap. When he's trying to say that this was some right-wing person that shot Charlie Kirk, when it was very clearly somebody that was indoctrinated in transgender nonsense.
With all due respect, that's not what he said. He said that Republicans spent the weekend. Hang on, let me take it and I'll let you. He said the Republicans spent the weekend. He said the Republicans spent the weekend trying to
press conference.
Not one
I can say what I want to say.
He didn't want to hear it. So he didn't want to hear it. What Jimmy Kimmel said was Republicans spent the weekend, this is a soft quote here, trying to make him anything other than one of them. Which is, when he said it, it was true. That's what they did spent the weekend doing. And then the text messages started to come out after that. And then, so it wasn't factually wrong and it wasn't offensive. He never talked about the death of Charlie Kirk. He never made fun of the death of Charlie Kirk. He was, as a comedian, making fun of the president's reaction. The president was asked a question about Charlie Kirk and he immediately talked about the big, beautiful ballroom that he was building. We'll get back to this in a moment. I got to get to Ben Crump is here, but I need to get a word in from our sponsors, and then we're going to talk about this tragic death in Mississippi. Here's a word from our sponsors.
Support for the Don Lemon Show today comes from Mint Mobile. Now, I've got to ask you, are you guilty of what we call procrastinating? That's when you keep putting off something that could save you a ton of money. I used to do it myself until I saw Mint Mobile's best deal of the year, 50% off unlimited premium wireless for new customers. With Mint, you can stop overspending on big wireless, cut your bills to just $15 a month while still getting high-speed data and unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. So here's what I like. You can bring your own phone, you can keep the same number, you can bring your own contacts, no hassle. My team tried Mint Mobile. They told me the service was crystal clear, no drops, no slowdowns, and they burned through plenty of data with no problem. But this deal ends on September 22nd, so don't wait. 3 months of premium wireless for just $15 a month. Go to mintmobile.com/DonLemon. That's mintmobile.com/DonLemon.
Thank you to our sponsors. Now, Mr. Ben Crump is here. Let's put Ben up. You know, Ben is the civil rights attorney of our time right now. There he is. Ben, thank you for joining. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, Don. It's an honor
Ben,
to be with you.
Thank you. I want to run a short report and then we're back. After this report, Ben Crump is here. Here it is.
Authorities in Mississippi are now working with the FBI and tell us this morning that they can only say so much, but are trying to make clear to the public that the tragic death of Delta State University student DeMartravion Reed did not involve any foul play. Trey, as he's known, is the young black man who was found hanging from a campus tree on Monday morning.
We recognize that this is not only about facts. It's about emotions and it's about feelings. And the way this loss and how it was discovered affects people's lives.
Reed's family is having trouble believing authorities, saying that he was happy and excited about college. They're demanding to see video of his final moments that police say they have.
There's video out there, and we can't speak to that at this point. It's still an ongoing investigation.
According to an early report from the county coroner, the student didn't suffer any lacerations, contusions, compound fractures, broken bones, or injuries consistent with an assault. Lawyers for the family are now calling for an independent autopsy and a more thorough investigation, saying that Trey's family deserves answers they can trust. We cannot accept rushed conclusions when the stakes are this high. Many students and faculty don't know what to think. Campuses like this one have been caught in the cultural crossfire with bomb threats and false reports of active shooters.
I can say that my heartbreak is comprehensive. This institution should not be associated with hate or hate crimes. If people knew this place, they look at it and say, wouldn't it be better if America was more like Delta State University?
There is great public interest in this case, especially on social media. We expect a more complete autopsy by the end of this week.
That's a report. Ben Crump is joining us now. Ben, they say there's no foul play. We need an update on the autopsy. People want clarification on this. Everybody's interested in it. It should be on every single network. What's going on?
Well, first, let me say thank you, Don, for covering this matter, because it is very important when a young person loses their life. And we know the history of the state of Mississippi when it comes to lynchings. And so everybody is very vigilant to say, we understand the family's concern that if it was my child, I would want complete transparency. I wouldn't want to take the word of anybody who comes out day one and says, well, there's no foul play involved. Well, how can you rush to a conclusion that quickly? And so what we're asking for, Don Lemon, is for transparency. And we're not saying that you're not telling us the truth, but we want to verify everything because the family has every right not to trust an authority who came out the first day and said there's nothing to see here. And so we are going to have an independent autopsy that Colin Kaepernick, Know Your Rights autopsy initiative, is going to help have done on behalf of the family. And the family thanks everybody who's been saying, no, we need to pay attention to Trey Reed. I know there's so much other stuff going on in America, but this Black life should be one of those things that we're paying attention to as well.
Yeah, and that's, I was just going to read from the press release, but attorney Ben Crump says family will seek second independent autopsy for Trey Reed. Kaepernick initiative will cover the cost of that. I'm glad to see that the Kaepernick initiative is out there doing good work. Also, Ben, I got another press release yesterday that says that you are demanding video in Trey Reed's death investigation be shown to his family. Where are you on that?
Well, we're hoping that that's going to happen at any time now. You may have seen that they have now had the federal government come in as part of the investigation, and they're saying it's an active investigation. Therefore, they are saying that they want to, I guess, dot every I and cross every T before the family sees the video. But it's my hope that the family can see the video, because I don't understand it completely, Don. If you say you have a video, show the family. Don't have them have this extra trauma. They want to know the truth. They want to know what happened. And whatever the truth is, they're prepared to accept it. They just want to know. So that's all we're asking. We're not trying to be unreasonable or anything. We just want what you would want if that was your child, who they said was found hanging from a tree at 7 a.m. in the morning.
This is also the reporting, and I need you to confirm or tell us your thoughts on this. It says cause of death reveal for Black student found hanging from a tree on college campus. Officials in Mississippi previously said there was no evidence to suggest DeMartravian Trey Reed was physically attacked before his death. Autopsies have been released. 21 found dead hanging from a tree. I hate to even say that. On the campus of Delta State University, the young man was a student. Cleveland police announced in a news release on Thursday, which was yesterday, that the autopsy determined Reed died by suicide. What do you say to that?
Well, as we've said before, we cannot take them at their word. The family wants to have an independent autopsy. You know, history is not lost on us with the state of Mississippi, Don Lemon, and the horrific history of Black men being lynched in that state, probably to a greater, disproportion than other states. So the family, again, is saying, we want to see, we want to have an independent autopsy. We want to know that we did everything to get the truth. And that's all they're asking for. And if it was suicide, then the family has to deal with that trauma and that grief as well, because all they're asking for is transparency.
It's just transparency.
That's it.
I don't see that there's that much to, what's in question. Okay, if it's a horrible situation where it's there and it's on tape, if the tapes exist for it, they can show a family representative like you, and you can confirm to them if it's too much for them to be able to witness. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that they should be able to see it. How's the family doing, Ben?
They devastated, Don. They in disbelief. And that's something else we have to talk about. If it is he took his own life, we need to talk about mental health, especially in our community. Many times it was taboo to talk about mental health in Black communities. We need to talk about it in our families, with our children, our loved ones, to say that there's always a way to deal with whatever issue you're going through. And so the family is just, they need prayer. His grandmother, mother, father, devastated. When a kid goes to college, you see a future, everything is bright. And then to be told that this young man has been unalive now for whatever reasons, Don, for whatever reasons, it is tough. Because
if you listen to the students and the accounts that I've read about, in the paper and on the news, that he was happy-go-lucky, he lit up a room. Was there any indication from anyone that he had issues that he was dealing with? Or because I know the students spoke very highly of him, and none of them that I've seen mentioned anything like that.
Yeah, not from his family. His family said they had no indication that he would ever commit suicide. So, it's still, they're struggling with this. They are struggling, Don. We're trying to talk to students. We have two of our investigators who are there actively on campus trying to get to whatever truths there are. And so once we get them, we will let you know, Don. I know, hopefully they will see the video sooner rather than later. And, we can do it. I know they're having a visual Saturday at 6 p.m. to have everybody continue to say, let the family see the video. If you don't want to release it to the public, then we understand that, but at least give this family some closure.
I agree. Ben, I want to ask you about, because you are a civil rights attorney, and if you can help us to make some, I'm not sure if you want to answer or talk about this, but now, we are dealing with our right to freedom of speech. I don't know if you heard with the Congressional Black Caucus today, they're condemning this resolution that was passed to, to memorialize Charlie Kirk's death. Of course, we condone any violence. We don't know political violence, but some of his statements and sentiments, they were offensive to Black people, to Black women, et cetera. Do you have anything to say about this?
Well, we have to make sure that the First Amendment is protected always, because it is the hallmark of democracy. That's first and foremost. As a civil rights lawyer, which is really a constitutional lawyer, Don Lemon, you're saying we want to make sure the Constitution applies equally to every American citizen. And the only thing I will say is this: go back and look at things that were said about Trayvon Martin, about Breonna Taylor, about George Floyd. And everybody has to decide for themselves, their conscience, what they think is appropriate and not appropriate, and whether they decide to grieve or not grieve an individual. And so that's all I'll say on it. I talked to Breonna's mother. I talked to Trayvon's mother a lot about what, people had to say about them. So we need to go back and look at the receipts.
Yeah. I thought about you yesterday. I ran into Lucy McBath in the halls of Congress, and we were talking about the mothers of the struggle, of the movement. And so, yeah. Ben, thank you for updating on this. Our regards to the family. Thank you for sticking up and standing up for people and updating us. And we're going to continue to follow this story. Okay.
Don, thank you. We've been together since Trayvon and Michael Brown and Ferguson. Man, we're so proud to have you speaking truth to power, Don.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Ben, before you go, I want to introduce you to some of the folks. These are our very loyal, we call them the Lemon Legends. They're at the highest tier of our membership, and they could not wait to hear from you. And they probably just want to thank you, some of them. Guys, say hello to Ben Crump.
Thank you all.
Hi, Ben. Thank you.
Hey, Mr.
Hi,
Crump.
Ben.
Thank you all very much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for all you do.
Now more than ever. We're in this together. Now more than ever. Thank you, King.
Thank you, Ben.
Respect,
I'll see you later.
Queens.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. God bless.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so Legends, let's come. So I want to know how you feel, Legends, about that story, and then we'll get back to the freedom of speech of it all. But I had been feeling it. We've done a couple of reports on this, that this story is not being covered nearly enough because we've been so focused on Jimmy Kimmel and Charlie Kirk and what's happening with Donald Trump and all of those things. Anybody raise your hands out, because I want this to be a sort of a free flow, and I'm tired of like calling everybody's name. Who wants to say something? Bob, did you want to say something? Go for it. What did you want to say?
Oh, yes. I just want to thank you for all the Man in the Streets you've done over the last several weeks. Fantastic. And I love Ben Crump. My personal attorney loves Ben, has worked with him a few times.
We can't see your face, Bob.
Just speaks high. Oh,
yeah,
yes.
we like that you
Ben
have on the
Crump
Lemon
is-
Nation shirt. Yeah, but we can't see your face. We want to see your good-looking face.
Oh,
There
I
you
don't
go.
know if my face is good looking.
You're good.
But... Okay. Anyways, I'm so happy that you were able to have an interview with Alyssa Slotkin. She's been my representative for like 3 terms, and now she's a senator. Your interview was so fantastic. You asked the tough questions, but being respectful. So I just wanted to say that. So other than that, I love Ben Crump too. His civil rights work is unbelievable, and
Does
he's
anybody-
such a prize to our country.
Thank you, Bob.
So
Does anybody have
that's all I
anything
wanted
that
to
they want to
say,
say about this? Go ahead. Is that Jen?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I just want to let y'all know that I went to college with Ben, and he was big man on campus when we were in school. He was the president of the Black Student Union. Everybody knew Ben on campus, just so you know.
Yeah.
And anyway, so as far as this First Amendment thing, you want to discuss that now, Don?
I do want to discuss it, but yeah, stand by, Jen, and everyone, because I have a lot more to tell you guys about. I want you to respond to some things. I'm coming back. Go ahead. What do you want to say, sir?
Warren here. How are you, Don?
Hey, how are you?
I appreciate all your men in the street. Regarding this hanging, I just can't believe. Well, I can believe it's happening again. And as Brother Crump said, the state of Mississippi is known for lies. I mean, that's what they do, and they're well versed in that. And I'm glad that the family has asked for an autopsy. And I even thought of Emmett Till as he was speaking, and that the mother of Emmett Till had the casket open so the people could see it. Now I don't know how that would react with this hanging here with Brother Trey
Reed.
But Trey Reed, yeah, I really wish that they would be more upfront. But it's the state of Mississippi where over 600, 800 people were lynched back in the day, and I don't know when the lynching stopped, but evidently it hasn't, because
it hasn't stopped.
Yeah, evidently not. Yes, so
it hasn't stopped. No, there was a lynching in the 80s.
Jen,
I believe it was also in Mississippi.
Yes. I'm sorry to cut you off. I got to get to, a word from our sponsors, and then we're going to talk more about freedom of speech in this, and then the floor will be all of yours after this. 1 minute for a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back. Now, you know, this show started as an idea, a dream, and Shopify turned it into something real. And that's what they do. They help everyone. They help people launch and grow their businesses without letting fear of those what ifs get in the way of everything. Shopify powers millions of businesses worldwide, and here at the Don Lemon Show, we use it to bring you the merch that you love. So maybe you're worried that you can't design a website. Shopify gets you beautiful templates that you can use. Don't know marketing? They've got easy tools for email, social media, and even AI to help write product descriptions and create discount codes. My favorite part is that ka-ching sound that you hear when you make a sale, because Shopify helps you find customers and it helps you to grow. So why not give your dream a chance? Sign up for a $1 per month trial at shopify.com/lemon. That's shopify.com/lemon, and turn those dreams into with Shopify. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thank you absolutely to all of our sponsors. Okay. I want to get back to this talk about freedom of speech. And again, I just want to, and I want to be clear, because this isn't about Charlie Kirk. This is about the response to Charlie Kirk, which was Jimmy Kimmel being, I guess, suspended indefinitely from the air, preempted. And the discussion really is around what is allowable in America. What can you say and what can't you say? Now, the president of the United States seems to think that he can say whatever he wants and that other folks can't, especially those who don't agree with his ideology or with anything that he has to say or do. And that especially the people who are public figures, who are on the air, he believes that he owns the airwaves here in America. This is what he said. Hey, you can't criticize me. He said it the other day, and now yesterday, I believe, and now he's saying something similar. Here it is.
Follow up on Charlie Kirk. There's been a lot of talk about free speech this week. Do you see a difference between cancel culture and consequence culture?
I mean, your question's a little trick question. I'm a very strong person for free speech. At the same time, when you have networks that where I won an election, like in counties, I guess it's 2,600 to 525. That's called landslide. A landslide times two. When you have that level of popularity or voter support, as I did in the last election, and yet 97 and 94%, different numbers. You see different numbers with different stats, but 97, 94, 95, 96% of the people are against me in the sense of the newscasts are against me. The stories are they said 97% bad. So they gave me 97. They'll take a great story and they'll make it bad. See, I think that's really illegal, personally. You can't have a free airwaves. You're getting free airwaves from the United States government, and you can't have that and say, and somebody that just won an election, and I had to go through this during the election. I think it's a miracle that I can win. When 97% of the stories on the networks are bad, or whatever it may be, whether it's 89, it doesn't matter. It's a tremendous number.
Bullshit. Number one, maybe 97% of the shit you're doing is bad. You ever thought about that? You ever thought that it's you? And the idea of what's bad and what's not, what is that? That's subjective. What's bad and what's not, if it's anything that is critical of you is bad, that's the job of the news media, is to criticize and to analyze. That's what we're supposed to do as journalists. That's the whole thing. This policy is good for this, it may be good for this. You are giving tax cuts to the rich, you're taking money from the poor. That's what the news media is supposed to do. And comedians are what? They give an idea about what's happening in the culture. They do it with humor, and oftentimes you learn things when they say the truth is often spoken in jest. Comedians are artists. They're part of the people that we are supposed to protect, especially as it relates to freedom of speech. Who is to determine if a joke is funny or not because you don't like it? The whole idea of what you're doing is based on ideology. Do you think that Barack Obama loved the media criticizing him? Do you think that he loved the way that Fox just really just went after him all the time, or conservative radio? What if people went into conservative radio and said, hey, you guys are too negative about the Democrats, so you've got to be taken off the air. The radio, those are airwaves as well. What the hell are you talking about? And here's what I find. The more they keep talking, the more they keep telling on themselves, the more they keep exposing, because they're doing too much. It's about the ratings. It's about how much, 97%. You can't do that. He's saying that he owns the airwaves. If you truly believe in freedom of speech, like you have been saying, the free speech absolutist, then people should be able to say whatever the hell that they want. And guess what? If I'm watching something on television and there's a remote handy, if I happen to watch TV, linear TV, not so much anymore, but what do? I click it off. I turn it to something else. Because that's my right as an American. I'm not saying, look, I rarely watch the Fox News. I do sometimes to see what is happening. I think you have to be informed. I rarely watch cable news in general unless something is happening and I want to get a temperature of what is going on in the country. I'll turn it on for a few minutes and I'll go, oh God, why did I do that? But just to get an idea. But I'm not saying that they shouldn't exist. Fox News talks shit about me all the time. I'm not saying they shouldn't exist. If I had the opportunity to go on, I probably would go on in the lion's den. But that I don't think that they should be taken off the air. We criticize Sean Hannity all the time. Sean Hannity talks shit about me all the time. I don't think he should be taken off the air. They are blinded by their ideology. And they think because someone is critical of them that it is bad. Perhaps people understand right now that we are dealing with cult-like behavior. Perhaps people understand now that Donald Trump fashions himself after being a dictator. He rarely, if ever, criticizes Putin. He likes meeting with dictators, shaking hands. Has sometimes nicer things to say about them, our adversaries, than he does about our allies, which is, and you're surprised that the American people or someone may criticize you for that? Why would you be surprised about that? Or that your tariffs are terrible for the economy right now? Even on Fox News, Martha McCallum saying, hey, look, the polls aren't so great. People aren't happy with the economy. I spoke with Alyssa Slotnick this morning, senator from Michigan. She says everybody there is complaining. The car manufacturers, the car company folks, the farmers, the union people. Her words, they're complaining about your economic policies. The job numbers are terrible. Even from the people that you fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and you're still getting negative job numbers. Every time someone says something that is critical of you or you don't like what they're saying, if it doesn't make you look good or give you a glow up, you want to fire or get rid of them. That should say something that's more about you than about them. Do you ever think it's you? I think the person who got it right, especially as it relates to, well, the owners of these stations, well, tell the owners to go kick rocks and say, you work for the public, deal with it. I'm not putting my thumb on the scale. If your people don't like it, tell them to turn it off. We're not controlling the airwaves of America. That is un-American, that's unpatriotic, it's undemocratic. Small d, not a Democratic Party. That's not what we do here in America. We believe in freedom of speech. We believe in the freedom of expression. We believe in freedom of religion in this country. We believe that people have free will. And if people don't like something, we think they have sense enough not to what? Not to frequent an establishment that they don't like, not to frequent a channel that they don't like, not to frequent a newspaper or a website that they don't like. They have the will to be able to do it if they don't like it, just like you do. I don't understand this at all. It is just ridiculous to me. And because of someone, this is what gets me about the Electoral College and the way that our politics are set up. Because you have a minority of people in this country who are setting the rules and the standards for the majority of the people who don't want it, who are not interested in being censored in that way. And so now you have rich people, mostly white men, oligarchs, deciding what can be seen and what cannot be seen. That's censorship. Perhaps you should be dealing with the antitrust of it all instead of bowing down to those people, FCC. You have the power to be able to do that. Why don't you do it? Especially, you should just turn their own words on them and say, I thought you believed that people should have the right to say things even if they're hurtful to someone, or if you don't like it. That's what the First Amendment is about. It's about protecting speech you don't like, not the speech that you like. And so now you have these people, and you got these, again, small towns, small-minded people who are getting to decide what the majority of the people in this country can see or what they want to see. And don't give me this bullshit about the ratings or whatever. All of linear television is down. I know. I was there. People are cutting the cord, but also is that maybe you're not giving people what they want. Maybe you're trying too much to control it. Maybe they'll, oh my God, Barbara is a Christian and blah, 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 and she doesn't want to see that. Okay, well, tell Barbara, don't watch the shit. George Carlin had it right. Here it is.
But hey, Reverend, there are two knobs on the radio. One of them turns the radio off, and the other one changes the station. Imagine that, Reverend. You can actually change the station. It's called freedom of choice, and it's one of the principles this country was founded upon. Look it up in the library, Reverend, if you have any of them left when you finish burning all the books.
And George Carlin was what? A comedian. Now, what if he was, oh my gosh, George Carlin, he's hateful. He should be taken off the airwaves. Imagine that. There's a lot of vitriol and anger that is coming from the Republican side. And I want to play that before I bring my legends back in, okay? This is Steve Bannon. Basically, Steve Bannon says he doesn't give a, and they should lean in more, Republicans, MAGA, and just take over the whole country, the airwaves, just run roughshod over everything. He doesn't care. I think he says explicitly, in what you're going to hear, that he does not care about freedom of speech. Steve Bannon.
They beat down President Trump and the MAGA movement every day. Well, hey, guess what? We're in charge now. And this is my whole point about a maximalist strategy, seize the institutions, and have a sense of urgency. Has to be done today, not tomorrow. Today, today, today. Action, action, action. And finally, they got Kimmel off the air, right? We got Colbert eventually fired, but he should be removed immediately by CBS's manager. Don't worry about managing TikTok today. Worry about getting rid of Colbert. Just tell him, he said, hey, look, we'll pay your contract out. You're going to lose a lot less than $40 million. Pay his contract down and shut it all down. And I love the fact that the folks around him that have been perpetrating this evil, the staff and the writers, all that, I have no remorse whatsoever. Those guys losing their job. And as you know, populist nationalists, we hate it when folks lose their jobs. But they have basically supported evil for years. So payback is, call it what you want, retribution, revenge. We just call it common sense. The days of you guys being in charge are over. And we're taking every step to make sure that you can't reverse it. This is the key thing. This is why you have to move with alacrity. We have to have maximalist position. We have to move a sense of urgency and seize the institutions and make it so they can never reverse it. So even if they're to steal elections in the future, which is the only way they get in office, like in 2020, if they're able to steal elections, they can't reverse what President Trump has done.
There's so much to be said there, and I don't have all day. But what it says to me, it's obvious that he's saying they never cared about the Constitution. They never cared. He said about the freedom of speech. They didn't care about the First Amendment. They don't care about anything that they claim to care about. It's obvious. They don't care about working with a government, a balanced government, the two-party government. What they care about is what? Getting their way and dictating to everyone how they think the country should be run. The Project 2025 of it all. He doesn't believe in Project 2025. I've never heard of it. I never heard of Project 2025. I hear Project 2025 all the time. That's Trump. I don't know anything about it, really. And now everything that is in Project 2025, including one of the people who is one of the authors of it, is now the head of the FCC. So this is where we are. Elections. Now, he is right. Elections have consequences. And when I spoke to that, let me tell you guys this. I spoke to an older gentleman on the streets of Washington, D.C. a couple nights ago. And he said, you know what? You know who I'm the most disappointed in? You know who I'm the most mad at? Back to my analogy about turning the tables over. That is metaphorically. We're not talking about anger that goes into violence. But you have to be willing to sacrifice something and be motivated by something. Jesus turned the tables over. This guy said, I'm angry because of the millions and millions upon millions of people who did not go out and vote because of apathy or because of misinformation or because of ignorance. And now they are complaining about what is happening in this country, and they don't have the right to. I don't believe. I forgot to turn on my lemon sign again. They don't have the right to do it. I don't believe they have the right to do it. One more before I bring my legends back in, because I know they're going to be fired up. This is Steve Bannon saying, basically, you thought this was crazy. Fasten your seatbelts. Betty Davis, it's going to be a bumpy night. Here it is.
Oh, let's just tone it down. Let's de-escalate. We ain't de-escalating nothing. You ain't seen nothing yet. We have not yet begun to fight. I want to go back to the beginning of that. And Ben Smith over at Semaphore, he's right. We like smashing our enemies more than some esoteric discussion of the First Amendment. Because you know
Smashing
what, Buckley and Will and all you guys, you discussed the First Amendment forever. And then when they shut down MAGA and they shut down Trump, you said nothing.
Okay, pause.
Now,
let me explain to some people. He's talking about George Will and William F. Buckley, who were, who revered, especially Buckley, revered as conservatives, thought leaders, commentators, op-ed writers, authors, revered by the Republican Party. Now he's saying even they aren't enough. We're going further. We're going more to the right. We're going more extreme than them. Just back it up a little bit. Now, I just wanted to educate you on who that was. Go ahead.
And you did nothing. So now President Trump and the MAGA movement's in power, and hey, it's going to be what it's going to be. And guess what? Capitalists are making decisions. It was the affiliates, the two biggest affiliate groups, that came and said, hey, we don't want this guy anymore.
He just told on himself. He said, capitalists are making the decisions. It's always about the money. The capitalists, the oligarchs, the rich guys, they're dictating to you what you can see. And now they're buying up media companies. The consolidation of media companies by conservatives is, you should all be concerned about that. Wait till the conservatives are in charge of broadcasting networks that they have already merged and been able to, streaming networks that they already own, cable networks, which they are about to buy, reportedly. Imagine turning on your favorite news network. Well, some of you turn on your favorite news network now, and you know it's been going to the right for a long time. You're like, wait, what the fuck is going on with this? But you may turn on your thing, and you may have Fox News 1 and Fox News 2. And they may have different call letters, or they'll consolidate, and who knows what'll happen. And then it'll be broadcast conservative channel. And then where are you? Elections have consequences. We're not yet begun to fight. Keep going.
We got to have the local auto ad and the local Orkin guy and the florist and the tile company. That's how we make our money, is on these local ads. And guess what? It ain't selling, and we're not going to put it up there. Particularly the vitriol. We knew Jimmy Kimmel now said, I was coming back next day and really rip MAGA's face off. Would do it, dude. You do it. Go do it on some YouTube channel. And I don't think we've been hard enough. And CBS, the Ellison should his son just bought it instead of trying to go buy CNN and all this, because I do think, because we're antitrust guys, it's a little too much consolidation of power, and I don't love the TikTok deal.
Wasn't I just saying that? You guys should all be concerned. But here's the thing that they don't know. Should I tell them? Should I tell them, y'all? Let's bring in the legends now. Should I tell them? Because here's the thing. And Kara Swisher and Scott Galloway said it today. And I wish I had it queued up for you guys. But they said it today. No, this isn't the one that's earlier in that. That's not the one that I'm talking about. What Kara said, what Bob Iger should have done is said, okay, and then he should have just moved Jimmy Kimmel over to streaming, right? And Kara said, I don't know why these folks are buying up these media companies, because linear television is dead. And so they should be more concerned about the streaming aspect of it. And they're like, late night or whatever. Of course, the ratings are going down because people aren't watching anymore, because they're turning it off, because they can see the corporate influence in all of it. So she said, "What? I don't know why they're buying these dying assets. I don't know. I'm not a an oligarch. Like, I'm not a business person in that sense. But maybe they're doing it because you can still make money off and you can sell them for parts." But I mean, guys, hello, you heard Steve Bannon. What say you?
Okay, I have to go first or I'm gonna explode. Like I've been sitting here shaking just because I've been just so angry about all of this. So I'm a musician, I'm a professional musician, and like people aren't thinking when it comes to Jimmy Kimmel, this isn't just about Jimmy Kimmel getting his show off of the air. This is about the hundreds of people that work for him that are suddenly out of jobs. And these people aren't millionaires like Jimmy Kimmel, where they can, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing for him, but these people need these jobs to provide for their families. And these idiots, these fascists they don't care. They're just like, nope, we're just going to take it all away. It doesn't matter because we're owning the libs. And it's ridiculous. Like, I mean, the Writers Guild spoke up about it. SAG spoke up about it. The Musicians Union wrote a statement. I went on my Instagram yesterday, and it was just filled with support for Jimmy Kimmel. If that doesn't say something about this, and it's not just celebrities, it's lawmakers, it's past presidents, it's so many people, and that's what should be a wake-up call, and it's not. And I'm just so angry about it. It's so frustrating that they don't see the effect of all this.
Michael Eisner is the former CEO of Disney. Stand by 1 second. Michael Eisner is the former CEO of Disney, and this is what he's saying. You can respond. Who said that they I did. Is that Kev? Okay. Let me put up Michael Eisner, and then this is the former CEO of Disney. Michael Eisner said, "Where's all the leadership gone? If not for university presidents, law firm management partners, and corporate chief executives standing up against bullies, who then will step up for the First Amendment? The suspending indefinitely of Jimmy Kimmel immediately after the chairman of the FCC's aggressive yet hollow threatening of the Disney company is yet another example of out of control intimidation. Maybe the Constitution should have said, Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or of the press except in one's political or financial self-interest. By the way, for the record, this ex-CEO finds Jimmy Kimmel very talented and funny." Kev?
Or getting off. Man, the level of hypocrisy is ridiculous. It's all about money, power, and control, and they don't seem to have enough of it. I'm gonna quote Joy Reid. Why are y'all so angry? Y'all have everything, and it's still. My thing is, Bush was criticized. We know Clinton criticized. Trump personally attacked Obama. He personally attacked the disabled journalists. We all saw that, but that's okay. He can do it because it's happening on their side. Just like that interview you had on the steps earlier, he didn't want to hear anything you were saying because you were telling him the truth. They
Crazy.
only want to. It was nuts. It pissed me off because if it's not their worldview, then nothing else matters.
But you know, yeah, but you know what? They are thin-skinned and power drunk. And that's what we're dealing with right now, right? It's pretty simple. And what you were saying, Don, about all those failing broadcasts, I mean, Trump lives in the 80s. So he sees like ABC, NBC, CBS.
That's what Cal Swishu said. Yes.
Well, isn't it true?
Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, he's living, and I really think that they know that. So they're like, we're going to push back. I mean, I can't remember the last time, frankly. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel's great, but I don't watch legacy media anymore. I don't watch it ever. And, you know, I'm certainly not the demographic that watches late night shows. It's like, 50 and over. And, you know, but they know who they need to kowtow to kiss his ass. And he's watching those shows because he's still in 1987. And they are, I mean, he is, right?
So true.
And again, they're power hungry. And he's so thin skinned. He watches every single day and he says, they're still saying bad things about me.
Little D energy.
Yeah, exactly. Total little D energy.
I like to go back to what Steve Bannon was saying. I think every American should be very concerned. He was saying like you were pointing out, Don, he wants to tear down institutions. These people don't care about the freedom of speech. They don't care about the foundation of America. They don't care about the Constitution.
They're collecting money for
because the Constitution
I'm on the air
helps. Because the Constitution.
Okay, good. We'll talk about it later. I'll bring it up to Don.
Hey, mute, please, Bob. Please, you guys mute. Go ahead.
Because the Constitution helped people that look like me have civil rights. That we were able to use the foundation of the founding fathers to help us rise up. They don't want that anymore. They want white men who are billionaires in power. And they want to strip anybody that looks different, sounds different, loves different, prays different out of America.
This has been the same thing since 1865, right? Isn't this how we had a civil war? It's the same thing. They've always been against democracy because Black people have never had democracy. White people have always had democracy, but Black people have never seen full democracy. So if they wanted democracy, we could have it. The John Lewis Voting Rights Act. There's a lots of things that we could do to have democracy, but they don't want it. They've had the opportunity over decades to establish a true democracy by giving everybody rights. They don't want it.
And soon, I had the conversation with Representative Jonathan Jackson. I'm not sure if you guys saw that, where he talked about the Voting Rights Act being gutted, and if not all, gotten rid of. And that's going to come up soon here, and we're going to be covering it here. Thank you for that. Hey, Marley, thank you for that. Thanks for that, Jen, and Camille, too. Naima, I understand you have a question?
Well, Don, it's not a question, but
Yes,
just a comment.
By the way, you look
It's
fantastic. I love your hair.
Thank you. It's just mind blowing to me. I think you may remember I said I worked on Capitol Hill for the House for like 10 years. And it's just mind blowing to me that they are pushing for this utopia that they want, and they don't like each other. So how do you think this is going? If you could wave a magic wand and make all of us disappear, how do you think this is going to turn out for you? Like, seriously, like the luxury you have, the enjoyment you are able to have, it's because of us.
That part.
Not because of you, it's because of us. And so, again, big kudos to you, Don, for the work you've been doing in these streets. I love it. Big ups to Joy Reid. I'm loving how what she putting down. I mean, all this has done is just really activate my activism. I've always been an activist. I came into this world as an activist, as my father used to say. Um, yeah, I hope they get the day they deserve at this point.
Have the day you deserve. I want to play something and then we get a response. I want to get some of the
these streets. Yeah.
I want to get some of the folks in who haven't had a chance to speak. Let me play this soundbite, and then if you haven't had a chance to speak, please speak up. Okay, so this is now. You guys are going to be surprised. Look, I know that a broken clock is right twice a day. So fasten your seatbelts for Ted Cruz.
No. Look, I like Brendan Carr. He's a good guy. He's the chairman of the FCC. I work closely with him. But what he said there is dangerous as hell.
For people that are listening, because this is going to be, quote, controversial, so I want to make sure we explain it clearly. When you say no and it's dangerous, explain and run this out, the slippery slope that this can open, so that people understand why we're saying it.
So the Federal Communication Commission is in charge of granting broadcast licenses. So ABC, NBC, CBS, they have licenses from the FCC. It is true that under statute, they're required to be in the public interest.
Yep.
What he is saying is Jimmy Kimmel was lying. That's true. He was lying. And his lying to the American people is not in the public interest. And so he threatens explicitly, we're going to cancel ABC's license. We're going to take him off the air. So ABC cannot broadcast anymore. And I got to say, he threatens it. He says, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way.
Yeah.
And I got to say, that's right out of Goodfellas. That's right out of a mafioso coming into a bar going, nice bar you have here. It'd be a shame if something happened to it. Mm-hmm. And I got to say, look, I understand. Jimmy Kimmel has mocked me so many times I cannot count. The corporate media, they are dishonest. They are liars. I hate what Jimmy Kimmel said. I am thrilled that he was fired. But let me tell you, if the government gets in the business of saying, we don't like what you, the media, have said, we're going to ban you from the airwaves if you don't say what we like, that will end up bad for conservatives. It reminds me of, you and I are both fans of The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
J.R.R. Tolkien. It reminds me of like the Ring of Power. And it is so attractive. It's sort of like conservatives are saying, wait, if we have government, we have power. Yeah. We can ban the media. Let me tell you what will happen. Going down this road, there will come a time when a Democrat wins again. Wins the White House.
They will get rid of every
Democrat
talk show host in America that's a conservative. They'll get rid of every podcast. They'll get rid of everybody on YouTube.
They will silence us. They will use this power, and they will use it ruthlessly. I think it is unbelievably dangerous for government to put itself in the position of saying, we're going to decide what speech we like and what we don't, and we're going to threaten to take you off air if we don't like what you're saying. And it might feel good right now to threaten Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
But when it is used to silence every conservative in America, we will regret it. And so, again, I like Brendan Carr, but we should not be in this business.
I can't say that he's wrong. I don't like that Jimmy Kimmel was suspended, but who hasn't spoken yet? What do you think? I mean, that's Ted Cruz. Go ahead, Boo.
Yeah, hi, Don. I don't know about, I mean, I understand what he's saying, but he's still throwing those doses of hate in there. And I think that's the part that's really dangerous for real. Because he's saying like, oh, like, it's like he doesn't mind, but it shouldn't happen. And then he's putting a blame, once again, a target on the left, a target on what a Democrat would do. A Democrat would never censor anybody that way and just remove people. People get roasted in politics every day. So I understand what he's saying. I don't know if that's his like dose of good, but to me it's still dangerous because he had a lot of hate signals in there.
Yeah. Keisha, you trying to get in?
Yeah, this time I was actually muted. I made the mistake. So I was going to say, last week I said that I felt like I was in the upside down world, and I felt that way when I heard what Ted Cruz said, because I don't agree with Ted Cruz ever, but I agree with him that that guy sounded like a mafia boss. But that's Trump's entire administration. He operates like he is the head of the mafia. So it's no surprise that everyone else who works for him is going to act the same. And like Camille said, he's doing this because he wants to squash dissent. He got his feelings hurt because someone said something negative about him, and God forbid anyone say anything negative about Trump. He's got to squash it. And what really upsets me is the people who don't see this whole situation as the threat that it is. This is a threat to our First Amendment rights. All these people for all this time that have been shouting about their free speech. This is the challenge to your free speech. Pay attention. This is serious.
Anybody?
Yeah, I agree with everything Keisha said. And
May Money is in the building.
Hey, you already know. Everybody.
May, do you want to respond to that? I can play something for you that if you want to respond to it, I think that would be up your alley. You want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go
Here
for
it is. Play the Ben Rhodes for her.
Some people see this and they think it's just one TV show, it's just Stephen Colbert, or it's just Jimmy Kimmel, it's just late night. What you have to see it is as part of a concerted strategy where not only do you have pro-Trump oligarchs consolidating control of the media, Russia, if we're talking about Hungary, if we're talking about Turkey, you're talking about government-associated oligarchs, wealthy people with interest before the government, buying up the media because that's one way to retain favor with the leader. But also, really importantly, it's the example that is set. It's not just about what Jimmy Kimmel or Stephen Colbert said. It's the fact that they basically got axed for their speech. That is a message to every other broadcaster on every other medium in this country that if you say something the leader doesn't like, you're probably at risk of getting axed. They want, Chris, people like you and me to be sitting here right now and have another voice in our head every time we open our mouths, that if we say the wrong thing, that might be it for us too. This is not just cancel culture, it's way beyond that. It's trying to enforce essentially an ideological test on the broad-based news media that reaches the vast majority of Americans so that the only content they're seeing is essentially ideologically aligned with whatever Trump and his FCC director and a small group of people think. That's what's happening. We're pretty far along on this thing, right? It took Putin a while. They studied what Orban did, they studied what Erdogan did, what Putin did. There's one playbook that has been pursued everywhere. And I think what Americans need to realize is we're not at the beginning of the playbook, Chris. We're near the end of the playbook.
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, he took the words out of my mouth. That's what I was going to say. And I said this last
Trust me.
night,
Come
too.
on now. I know.
Yeah.
Old people be knowing. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, I was just talking about this. We might not, the way that this is moving and how quick this is moving, we might be a week out, you know, from losing like our First Amendment rights straight up. You're like straight up. Like that's how close we are down this list of shit that we've been going through. And I mean, I don't know how many more times I could tell y'all. And I'm gonna say this because I love every single one of y'all. And when you love someone, you got to tell them the truth.
That's right.
We about to get fucked up out here. Okay, like for real. This is urgently dangerous. Okay, and I'm say that out of love. And yeah, we're closer than we think because then the rest of our rights, once the First Amendment, the first one, the OG amendment, go down, all of them crumble. So it's just like hello here, and you know this ain't rocket science, y'all. Like this is not like no geometrical problem that Einstein had to solve. Okay, this is very simple shit, and we're seeing it happen real time. And it just seemed like we already at the bottom of the cliff. We just haven't hit the ground yet, you know. Oh, and I think the MAGA people, they should just put little shirts that say we hate everybody and everything, including ourselves, and call it a day. For real.
Yeah.
Save us some time.
Okay.
Hell yeah,
Applause.
that definitely. Because they'll do that,
guys.
they won't go vote on it.
I've been wanting anyone would want to respond to this subject because I have something else that I want to talk about. Go ahead, Boo.
Oh, you didn't see me.
Which one is Boo?
Andrea?
She's raising her hand. I can't see in the corner. Someone's in the corner raising their hand right now. Is that Lori?
It's Lori.
That's Lori.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey Lori.
Lori.
You're this
Hi,
big on my
Tom.
screen. Go ahead, Lori. How you doing?
I'm doing
I'm just going to
great.
change my battery. Don't go anywhere. Keep talking.
Okay. I really love the show because we can actually speak, our minds. And, I'm so pent up here, like with anger, it's unreal. I work in the legal community. I love the law. I love our Constitution. And over the past week, I have been so angry at this dictatorship move, which, we have, I hear authoritarian, I'm going to say it wrong, but, being an autocrat basically versus dictatorship. No, this is dictatorship. This looks, Steve Bannon is trying with his rhetoric, wants to start a civil war. Trump is also saying the same thing with, those radical leftists and liberals and stuff. We got to protect ourselves. Laura Loomer, I just saw today, had a tweet where she said that we're out for blood and we're going to get that blood kind of thing because we're liberal. And then I saw ICE pull people that are basically sitting there while they're coming out. I'm not sure what the location is. They just have a sign not saying anything, and ICE is moving them out of the way and assaulting them. So if this goes down, our First Amendment rights go down, we're going to turn into North Korea. He's trying to make our stations, our TV, anything we have to be the government propaganda, everything that he wants on there, nothing more, nothing less. It's true dictatorship. And if you disagree, he really is modeling it by North Korea. And I'm scared, very scared, and I don't know what's going to happen if this goes down totally. And the FCC commissioner, I heard him speak, and he put even a Jack Nicholson face from The Departed in his Twitter about it, showing he's the boss, the mob boss. So we gotta fight. We gotta fight. I'm gonna fight all the way. My husband says don't because he's afraid Trump go after me because I'm here. Or if I go to a protest, and that's not fair. That's my right.
You can't be scared. You can't be scared. You can't be scared.
You can't be scared.
Okay, so
this affects us all.
I'm sorry.
I said this affects us all.
Yes. Did someone say they wanted to jump in? Because I want to move on to something else that I want you guys to respond to. Who is that? Is that Monique? Who's up there? Monique?
It's Wendy.
Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
Hey, Dawn. Hey,
Hi,
what? I agree with
Wendy.
everybody. Hi. I agree with what everybody said. But less than 8-9 months, he tore down everything, and he's still tearing it down. And it is scary. But there is more of us than them. So we have to fight. We have to fight. We can't give up. I mean, I'm scared to death, but I'm not afraid of them. But I'm going to fight too.
Okay.
We all should.
So here's the thing. So you guys know, you guys were commenting on it. So I, you've worked with someone before. Someone is saying I should play. Should I play this thing for that Peter just sent in the chat, guys? I'm sure it's going to take us a while to get there, but I want to move on. Let's move on. So, let's talk about Piers Morgan. So I knew Piers Morgan. You guys are like, no. So I knew Piers Morgan from CNN and worked with him. We got along well. When he was fired from CNN, I inherited his team, his entire team, his office, everything. And so they told me everything about him. When I got there, they were surprised that I even knew how to turn the computer on because he, I guess, never turned it on, didn't know how to write in the script, the thing that to see the rundown of the show, nothing. Showed up 5 minutes before the show was on the air. And so, I was like, okay, whatever. So I guess that's true because I figured it out. I guess it's true. Who knows? But it appeared to me as I was on the show that he had no idea of the editorial, had no connection to the editorial process of his show. And so one of our former bookers, it was his booker first, and then she became the booker on my show because she was part of the team. She texted me and she said, "Hey, Don, would you come on to do Piers or whatever he wants to talk to you about, Charlie Kirk and new media, freedom of speech or something like that." And I said, I don't do panels because it's a panel of people just arguing. I said, I'm not going to do that. And I don't. I don't like those shows where people are like, and everybody's looking for their moment. And so she said, if I can, and then she said, if I can change that and work on it, would you come on? I said, sure, I'll come on. I know Piers or whatever. And what's the subject? Charlie Kirk, freedom of speech, or new media, whatever it was. Those three or two. Day of before, an hour or two before, same thing. And so then I get on the show. He starts bringing up CNN. He starts bringing up trans athletes. He starts attacking me personally. He starts calling me names. And this is a little bit of the exchange. I just wanted you guys to see it because I know that you guys have been talking about it and people are commenting on it. So here it is, part of it.
Okay, did you invite me here to interrupt me, or are you going to let me?
I think you're being a complete dick, if I'm honest with you.
Okay.
I do.
Well, that's very kind and respectful of you.
It wasn't intended to be kind or respectful. I don't like the ad hominem attacks.
I could respond in kind.
You can say what you like about me. I don't care.
I think that I'm above that. I'm not going to do that, Piers. That's not who I am.
I don't understand why you're playing the victim card when you yourself mentioned cancel culture.
Because Piers. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Let me do this.
What are you going to do? Read out my team's messages to you?
Piers? It should be embarrassing. Yeah, I can read out the team messages to you because I just think it's completely unfair, and you know that. I'm prepared to answer your question, and then I'm going to move on. I told you I'm prepared to talk about Charlie Kirk's death, the response to it, and cancel culture, and freedom of the press. So freedom of speech.
You weren't prepared to talk about cancel culture, or you weren't?
Unless you... No. I'm not prepared
to talk about
cancel culture. But that has... Oh, my God. Piers, could you stop interrupting me?
Not really. You're kind of exhausting me. It's ridiculous. Why would you react this way to a perfectly normal... Obviously, if you mention cancel culture, obviously it's rational and logical.
I didn't mention cancel culture.
Whether you felt what happened to you at CNN was that. I played the clip, and then you throw a hissy fit.
I've given you a moment enough. I've given you your moment.
I don't want a moment.
So
I don't want a moment,
yes, you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't do this. Otherwise, you would be a respectful journalist and host, and you would let me talk.
I don't think I'll take lectures on being a respectful journalist
because you want a moment. Oh, my gosh, Piers.
I won't.
I can't even hear because there's a delay and you keep talking. And what do you want me to do? Like rip the earpiece out in the mic and run off so you have a moment?
No, I don't care.
Are you
do whatever you like.
The question? Are you just going to keep pillaring me with questions?
I don't know why you've gone on this weird rant. I don't understand any of it. Why have you done this weird reaction? I simply asked you about whether you felt your departure from CNN was, in your eyes, an example of cancel culture. I played the clip,
Piers,
and I then said, when you watch it back, do you really understand what you were saying?
This is why I don't do this, but you're embarrassing yourself, Piers.
Actually, you might be embarrassing yourself, Don.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Yeah, you might be. Have you thought of that?
Okay.
You're a journalist. You don't want to talk about a story, a massive story that involved you?
Piers.
Piers looking for clout.
Right. Clout, right? I mean, I looked at that objectively. Hang on one second. And I was like, he'd never let me answer a question. And it was just like he was on one and he wanted a moment, and then it's all clickbait. And the only reason I did it is because I knew him. I saw him in a restaurant with my old boss. And I said, hey, Piers, I know you've been asking me, your team has been asking me to come on the show, but I don't do panels. Sorry about that. You know, something in the future that's not, maybe I'll come on. And so, you know, I thought it was an important subject that we could have. And the reason I thought that we could have a critical conversation, which we talked about a little bit later on, but he still didn't let me get everything in. I thought that we could have a productive conversation is because one of the reasons reportedly, allegedly, that he was let go from CNN is because he was mouthing off too much about the Second Amendment. I don't know if you guys remember that, trying to tell Americans how they should feel about guns. And the public completely rejected it, and his ratings tanked. And then they brought me in, and they had the best year, a quarter of their lives. You know, 2015, when I took over the program, it became the number one program I believe it was the number one program on the network. But anyway, and so then the headlines were Don Lemon on CNN and Megyn Kelly on Fox have something to celebrate in the quarter or whatever after the dismal, Piers Morgan. And so, you know, I thought I could have a conversation with him about how to stop gun violence. And instead, He wasted my time and his time and the audience's time with that. And so that's all. You guys want to talk about it? What do y'all want to say?
Don, he didn't want to hear about gun violence. He wanted to intimidate you because you always intimidated him.
He wanted me to become an angry black man. I wasn't giving that to him.
Right.
Exactly.
Mic off and run off the stage, and but that's we black people have class. And that's what they don't like about us, that when we come out, we already know more than they do. We just sit and observe and listen. And that's what you did. You listened. You tried to talk like you was a sensible person, but he didn't want that. That's not what he wanted. And what I wanted to say too, and this is the biggest thing I wanted to say, it's too many people that are comfortable in this country right now. Donald Trump has got all of his minions out and they're all after us. And he said, I already showed you I could get Elon Musk to fix the election for us. And now he want to show us I can get the media to shut up. I can get Iger to make them shut down the View. And I love the View. They can't shut down the View. We got to say something before that. But until people want to get up off their couch, you want to get up off your couch, you want to turn the TV off. How long you been telling? You've been telling them to turn the TV off for 9 months. I've been a member since 9 months plus. They turn the TV off. Get out. You have to say something. You have to do something, Don. This must stop. Donald Trump is upset that his mother upset him when he was a little kid. His mother got tired of him and sent him off to school somewhere. His father told him he was a king. He's a big baby. He can dish it, but he can't take it.
You better cook, Andrea.
You need to just go somewhere and shut up, because we gonna win. See, already know we're gonna win. I'm tired of them really judging us. That they keep judging us. You can't live your lifestyle. I can't live my lifestyle. You need to stop judging us. And you say you're a Christian, then judge not, so that you won't be judged.
Paul, mind your business.
Okay.
John, can I say something really simple to you? This is
Maureen, of course. I was just going to say we haven't heard from Maureen. We haven't heard from Willette. We haven't heard from Maureen, Willette, and who else?
Monique.
And Monique. Yeah, go ahead, Maureen.
Mine is very simple. He's a jerk. You absolutely didn't deserve that treatment. And I'm mad today. I'm angry. All at everything that's going on, but you had your freedom of speech to be able to express yourself, and he at every moment he just blocked that, and you don't deserve it, sir.
No.
So
thank you, Maureen.
You are.
Thank you, Maureen. Willette, I know you're not on camera. Where are you at? Oh, there. Hello, Willette, are you there? You're muted. There you go. Nope, muted.
You still muted.
Muted.
She talking hard too.
I know. Yeah, are you there?
Don, are you there? I just want to say you went above and beyond with holding your cool, because I almost broke my fucking computer. Excuse me, because I said I can't believe that you let this man talk to you like that. And I'm from the old street, and that would have stopped real quick.
Now, he wouldn't have done that in person. Come on now.
Right.
You already know. Monique.
Hello.
Hello.
Wow. Don, Nola girl here, Scorpio, Gen X. I don't play. All right. I didn't watch that on purpose, because I watched Joy Reid when she went on Piers Morgan. After I watched her show and she talked about what Piers did to her. And as soon as you said the other day that you went on his show, I thought, oh no. Oh no. So I did myself a favor, because I've been angry. I've been angry for like a week and a half. I've been angry. So I did myself a favor and I didn't watch it. But just that little portion right there, bless you, Don. You are.
That's why I didn't watch
Thank you,
it as
Monique.
well.
No.
Did we get
But
Willette?
what
Is
I have
she?
to-
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, is she about all I have to say about all of this, the First Amendment stuff and all of that? Unfortunately, none of this is coming as a surprise to me, because when Kamala Harris's voice went up like 7 octaves when she was like, "Did you read this?" and she waved Project 2025 at us, I was like, I gotta go read it because it upset my girl, right? I trudged through all 900 and something pages of that. They've been working on that for decades. So when people say he's done so much in 8 or 9 months or however long he's been in office, no, they've been working on this for
Been working
decades.
on that forever. Yeah,
They got their, yeah.
yeah,
They've been
his
working on
body
this
man
forever.
started working on that. You know, the guy who used to be his body man became the guy,
Yes.
the chief cook and bottle wash over that. Is Willette still here? Is your computer working?
Hi.
Now?
Hi.
Woo!
Look at God.
I've been traveling to see my mom. She's in the rehab.
Hi, Mom.
And say hey, Mama. Okay, she's over there. I'm just in the room because of everything going on around me now. So I'm just enjoying this. What we got going on here? Hey, Lemons.
Thank you. Hi, is Mom okay? Is Mom gonna be okay?
Yeah. She had a stroke. In June. So she'll be going home at the end of this month. So
And you know, if you followed, I dealt with that back in May, April and May. So but I want you to have a better ending than mine. But your mom looks cool and okay. So we're sending love and prayers to you, okay?
Thank you.
Everybody sending good vibes. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay. Thank you. And I'm glad, Willette, I'm glad that you love what we have here, because I love what we have here. And guess what? There are people who love what we have here, like Kara Swisher and Scott Galloway on their pod. You guys know Kara Swisher. They have one of the most popular podcasts in the country. Okay.
I know.
And they are shouting us out. Here it is.
You're just going to see media that is not scared of Brendan Carr or can't be controlled by Brendan Carr. Boom. Because people are really interested in what's going on, and they like fearless. You know, I'll give you an example. Don Lemon's doing a great job. Don Lemon is doing such a fantastic job. First off, I love people who just work really fucking hard. I was watching
He's out and about. For people who don't know, explain what he's doing. I love this.
He's man on the street. He's totally unafraid. He shows up to everyone with a mic. He responds thoughtfully. He's forceful yet dignified. He's clearly working his fucking ass off. The reason I love Don Lemon is the same reason I loved Secretary Clinton or Senator Klobuchar. It is just so obvious these people work their asses off. They get up early and they think, how can I be great at what I do by just showing up over and over and over? Don Lemon must be working 14 fucking hours a day.
He's running around. He wrote me. He's like, what do you think? I'm like, I love the Don Lemon in the streets.
He's doing a
great job. And everybody should watch it, because this is where he shines, I have to say. Same thing, Brett Stevens wrote a great piece.
Thank you, Andy. And then they go on to talk, and they a little bit more, but it's a little bit later on. But people are recognizing our channel, and it's not just about me, it's about you, because you guys are helping to build it, the whole Lemon community. I mean, you remember when we started? We started at the bottom. Now we're here.
You have a calling, Don, and I appreciate you answering the call, and I appreciate you taking us along for the ride, because it's important and it matters. And I just want to say I really appreciate you, man. I really do.
Yeah,
thank you, guys.
You are a class act, Don. You are a class act.
Don.
I saw that interview and I cringed. Love you, Don.
And I love your K9 cameos.
I am a lost millennial, and you
Boomer,
make
say
this
hi,
content
Boom Boom.
easier to digest.
Thank you.
I
Say hi,
want
Boom
to say I'm
Boom.
proud of you, Don.
Thank you.
So much.
Proud of you and your whole crew, Don.
Thank you. And Willette, we are sending love and prayers, okay? Love and prayers to Willette and her mom. Thank you, guys. Okay, bye, legends. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Don, you a class act. Keep it up. We love you, Don.
Thank you. May, you be cool this weekend, all right, boo? Bye, y'all. Bye, guys. Thank you. All right, that's our legends. We love having our legends. That's what happens. You get at the top tier of our membership, the Lemon Legends, and so they get to be on, and we honor them, and we keep our promise to have them on and to get to speak their mind on the program. So make sure you become a member. Thank you for the folks. Some of you have donated memberships. We appreciate it all. Subscribe. It's free. It's the button is right there at the bottom of the screen on the right by the comments. And if you want to know anything about the show, you can go to donlemon.com. How easy is that? Go to donlemon.com. You see the Lemon Media Network there, LMN. Go to donlemon.com and look at the top right there. If you watch on our main show on YouTube, if you click that button with the arrow to the right, there it is. It says we're live. Subscribe. It is free. You can hit that button or you can join. Our memberships are extremely reasonable, okay? So thank you for that. And you can there's everything you want to know about us. It's on there. Also, you can find out other places if you're like listening, you just want to listen. And there's video as well on Apple Podcasts, on iHeart Radio, and on Spotify. And then, of course, we have Substack at the bottom. And, of course, we've got our merch. Oh, and I had some new shirts over there, but I can't get up and show them to you. But there's our stuff. And I love that you guys love it. You demanded it. I didn't want to do it. So thank you. The fan is still the #1 thing. And I think the Lemon Nation t-shirt with where's the t-shirt? The V-neck. I think that's the #1 seller. The black one with the yellow thing. Okay, guys. So I appreciate you joining us. I want you to have a great weekend. I'll probably do a show tomorrow just because there's so much going on. So I want to say to you, thanks for your support. Thanks for becoming members. Thanks for helping our channel grow. You know I love you. Be kind to yourselves this weekend, and you need to, take some time to do your thing and get your mind right. And so I always say you can be informed without being inundated until I see you live the next time here on the Don Lemon Show on the Don Lemon channel. And I mean it this time. Turn the TV off. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never, ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support.